Hello everyone and welcome back to Deciphering Weather. In today's video, Hurricane Ernesto has made direct impacts with Bermuda earlier today, and we're seeing activity in and around Hawaii for possible tropical development. Will Hawaii see its first tropical storm or hurricane of the season? And will we see something form in the actual Central Pacific Basin? If you like detailed weather breakdowns, hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get all of my upcoming videos. So we're looking at the latest satellite image of the Atlantic Basin thanks to tropicaltidbits.com for Saturday, August 17th, 2024. The black arrows pointing towards Hurricane Ernesto as it's starting to pass Bermuda after making a direct impact earlier today. And we have 3 tropical waves in the main development region, 1 in the Caribbean and 2 outside of the Caribbean. Here's their vorticity signatures. As you can see, the tropical waves don't have much with them right now compared to what we are looking for in terms of intensity with Hurricane Ernesto. Here's the latest information on Ernesto. As you can see, it's on its way moving north-northeast away from Bermuda now after making direct landfall earlier today. It's got winds of 80 miles an hour and it's moving north-northeast at 7. And the next impact that we're going to potentially have to worry about would be up in Atlantic Canada. Here's the key messages regarding Hurricane Ernesto. You can pause this to take a chance to read it, but on the left is in English and on the right is in Spanish. Now, over the next 7 days, we are not expecting any tropical development in the Atlantic Basin, just what we have left with Ernesto. But beyond 7 days, we do have a chance for something coming off the coast of Africa, which I'll show you. So here's the current state of the Atlantic. The black hexagon is Ernesto. The 3 purple hexagons are our tropical waves. As you can see, we have high wind shear in and around those tropical waves, which is causing them to lose thunderstorm convection and be shredded to their south and east. Now, by the time we get to a week from now, that's when things start to change in the Atlantic. Ernesto will be gone at this point, but we'll have this pink tropical wave coming off the coast of Africa, which is looking impressive. We'll have a little bit of a light wind shear environment with a developing upper level ridge overhead, and we all know that's conducive for possible tropical development. And the moisture content coming off Africa will be rather impressive, and we'll see if it will maintain it with that upper level ridge and light wind shear environment beyond the 7-day mark. This would be on Saturday, August 24th next week. The ensemble models are pretty supportive on both the European and the GFS, so that's why we'll keep an eye on it in about a week's time. But we all came here to see what's going on out in Hawaii. And as you can see, we have quite a bit. We have 3 disturbances in and around the Central Pacific Basin, which we normally don't talk about much on this channel. And then, of course, the Eastern Pacific Basin is still active as well. So here's the latest satellite image out near Hawaii, where we have disturbance 1 in red, disturbance 3 in purple, and disturbance 2 in pink. So here's our disturbance 1. This is south of the Big Island of Hawaii right now. Not much to it. It's got a 20% chance of developing over the next 7 days. Here's disturbance 3, just to its east. As you can see, not much with it right now either, but it too has a 20% chance of developing over the next 7 days. And then here's disturbance 2. Doesn't look much more impressive, but this one has the higher chance of developing out of the 3 of them over the next 7 days, where we have a 70% chance according to the Central Pacific Hurricane Center, not the National Hurricane Center. It's a little bit different. This one's based in Honolulu. So what I mean by Central Pacific Basin, I mean we're between the international date line in the west and 140-degree line in the east. And in that box is where, if anything forms, is the Central Pacific Basin's designation. And this is a loop over the next 10 days of what could happen with these systems as they interact with also storms coming from the Eastern Pacific Basin. So here is 2 days from now on Monday, August 19th. And we see not only the 3 Central Pacific Basin potential systems, but also the one on the right in black is our disturbance coming from the eastern Pacific basin. So the red one, which is disturbance 1 in 2 days' time, looks to be petering out. Nothing much really have to concern with that one. Disturbance 3 in purple looks to have a better chance of development. And then disturbance 2 in pink has an even greater chance. As you can see, it's got an even more concentrated piece of vorticity with it. Why? Well, we have a little bit of that upper level ridge overhead with both storms, but it's more concentrated over disturbance 2 than disturbance 3 in purple, even though both are in light wind shear environments. So they're going to maintain their moisture content a little bit better than disturbance 1 in red, which is heading towards dry air. So then by the time we get to day 3, you can see that disturbance 2 actually goes back out of the Central Pacific Basin. So it's going to be a questionable if disturbance 2 will be named with a Eastern Pacific Basin storm name, or if it's going to gain the Central Pacific storm name. But as you can see in purple, disturbance 3 still has that chance of developing as name as well from the Central Pacific Basin. If that was to happen, the next name on the Central Pacific Basin list would be Hone, H-O-N-E. The last time we had a storm in the Central Pacific Basin was back in 2019, and I'll show you those too. So here it is 4 days from now on Wednesday, August 21st, and we see that disturbance 3 still trying to maintain some vorticity signature as it goes to the south of Hawaii, but look at the disturbance 2 interacting with disturbance from the Eastern Pacific Basin as well. It potentially could go around that system as it's weaker and the one from the Eastern Pacific Basin stronger through the Fujiwara effect. And on day 5, you see it's actually whipped around to the northeast side of this storm as it continues to move in a direction towards Hawaii. It will have the more dominant upper level ridge overhead compared to disturbance 2 in pink, and it will get swallowed up by that storm, unfortunately. So then by the time we get to a week from now, that will be the only real main storm that we'll have to be concerned with Hawaii, which it will be coming mostly from the Eastern Pacific Basin. But it's interesting that we have 2 opportunities really for a Central Pacific Basin storm to gain a name, which would be Hone, I should say. And then in about 10 days' time, we have one potential storm making direct impacts with Hawaii, with another one right in its crosshairs behind it, both coming from the Eastern Pacific Basin. So here's the ensemble models showing all of our systems over the next 7 days of what we could see on both the European and the GFS models for possible development in the Central and Eastern Pacific Basins. Now, as I said, the last time we had an actual storm form in the Central Pacific Basin between the international date line and 140-degree longitude line west was 2 storms in 2019. First, we had a Kone, which is this storm here. It formed just to the south and east of Hawaii and lasted for a couple of days. And then we had Ima, which formed in October, the first week of October, and was formed to the west of Hawaii and actually moved in a more northern direction to the west of all the Hawaiian Islands. So those were the last 2 storms that formed. If any of those disturbances form between the international date line and the 140-degree west longitude line, they could gain the name Hone. So we'll keep an eye on that. And if anything was to potentially hit Hawaii, we'll keep an eye on you out there as well. And in the meantime, we'll continue to monitor Ernesto because, as we said, the next impacts we could see would be up in Atlantic Canada. As a reminder, we have super thanks available on Deciphering Weather, so if you'd like to donate to the channel, please go down to the heart button where it says thanks. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and leave a comment. Please share this video with your family and friends on social media. And if you're new and like detailed weather breakdowns, hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get all of my upcoming videos. Thank you and have a great day.